Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. It's fantastic to have you join in on this fascinating journey into the world of numismatics, where even the smallest coin can tell the most extraordinary story. Today, we're about to embark upon a deep, richly detailed exploration of one of the most intriguing and valuable coins in U.S. history, the 1948 1-cent wheat Liberty Lincoln cent, whose worth doesn't just hover at 1 penny but instead can soar to an astonishing $118 million or more. That staggering sum might sound impossible at first glance, yet when you peel back the layers, explore the errors, mistakes, mint mark oddities, and hidden possibilities, it begins to make sense in a way that's both surprising and utterly enthralling. So sit back, and let me take you on a comprehensive journey through the story behind that ordinary penny gone extraordinarily valuable. Let me begin with the simple appreciation of just how dramatic the gap is between a coin's face value and its true market worth. A 1-cent piece, just 1 penny, an everyday convenience meant to facilitate small transactions, to make change for jelly, to jingle in your pocket unnoticed. Yet, here we have a coin ostensibly worth just 1 cent that collectors believe could command $118 million or more. At first glance, it feels like hyperbole, almost unbelievable. But in the specialized universe of coin collecting numismatics, the unusual, the rare, the flawed, and the historically odd can transcend all expectations of value. When minute differences in minting produce a coin that stands alone, scarcity, desirability, and story converge to create astronomical value. So where to begin? Let's dive deep into the historical context, the technical craft of minting, the specific errors and anomalies that elevate the 1948 cent, and the ecosystem of collectors and guesswork that determines its value. There's much to explore and unearth, and every detail adds color, texture, and gravity to the tale. First, some background and context. The Lincoln cent was introduced in 1909, a departure from classical allegory toward a modern, historical figure, Abraham Lincoln, selected to commemorate the centennial of his birth. The obverse featured a bust of Lincoln, while the reverse displayed wheat ears on either side of the denomination and the motto 1 cent. This wheat cent design endured through 1958 before being replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. Over decades, billions of wheat cents were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, processed with incredible lewdness of scale. Mint marks D for Denver and S for San Francisco distinguished those issues, while Philadelphia generally had no mint mark, especially in that era. Now, 1948 is mid-century, post-World War II, an era of strong production but fewer dramatic changes compared to earlier years like 1909 or the famous double-die cents. Nonetheless, among those conventional cents minted, some have exhibited peculiarities, errors, or variations that shift them from pedestrian to prized. We're talking about off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, broad strikes, repunched mint marks, die cracks or cuds, and other anomalies. In tiny, precise differences, some coins stand apart. A collector's heart races at the sight of an anomaly because each one might represent only a handful of surviving specimens, or in some extreme speculations, a singular, unique coin. Imagine a 1948 wheat cent that is dramatically off-center, maybe by 30% or more, where Lincoln's face is partially cut off, and the wheat sheaves on the reverse are faint or absent. If preserved well enough, clean surfaces, minimal corrosion, such a coin might be exceptionally rare. The same with a cent struck on a clipped planchet where part of the blank was missing before striking, giving a scalloped edge. Combine that with a strong mint strike detail and unusual off-center tilt, and you suddenly have a coin that's one of a kind. Now imagine one layered with multiple errors. Perhaps an off-center strike at a slanted angle, over a clipped planchet, with a doubling effect visible on Liberty, or In God We Trust. That degree of combination error is exceedingly rare. The more anomalies present, the fewer such coins exist and the more they fascinate serious collectors or dealers. Their value is driven by the rarity plus condition plus demand triad. A perfectly preserved, combination era 1948 wheat cent might be the only one of its kind. Collectors would fight fiercely for it, and if the right buyer emerges, the price could climb into the millions or, hypothetically, into the tens or even hundreds of millions, depending on how rare and spectacular the error is, and how much someone is willing to pay. At this point, someone might ask, wait, is there truly a confirmed $118 million sale? No known documented sale of any wheat cent in that ballpark has occurred. Rather, the math emerges from speculation. If one exists, and if a billionaire collector falls in love with it, imagine the headline price. It's a hypothetical ceiling more than a confirmed retail record. But the point stands, mid-era rarities can escape the standard auction ceilings and venture into legendary status. Speculation about such an extraordinary, even mythical coin drives the narrative of face value of 1 cent versus potential $118 million value. It's the kind of story that fires imaginations, draws brushstrokes of what if around the coin, and fuels numismatic lore. But let's ground ourselves in more tangible era types and catalog actual known rarities from 1948. Reports exist, though not always mainstream, documented to numismatic registries and forums of coins with strong doubling D over double die punch through planchet flaws, or die misalignment. For example, a 1948 D wheat cent with heavy die doubling on the reverse, causing the wheat sheaves to have ghost-like echoes. Or a cent where the D in the mint mark was punched twice, slightly offset. These types are cataloged in online registries and era databases. Most have only 1 or 2 known examples. A dedicated collector might pay tens of thousands for one. If it had impeccable grade and a show-quality strike, maybe hundreds of thousands or more. Now think of what if a coin combined an extreme off-center, say a 45% strike, a clipped planchet, and repunched mint mark, all in perfect condition. That's the sort of coin that, if authenticated, could ramp up from 6 figures all the way into 7 or 8 figures and, in collective lodge speculation or hypothetical bubble talk, may be referenced as being worth $118 million. It's symbolic, a way for collectors to underscore how far from its nominal value a coin's market worth can deviate when unique physical anomalies align with collector fever. Let's also touch on minting processes and how errors arise. In the mid-20th century, U.S. mint operations used blanks, planchets punched from metal strips. If a blank wasn't perfectly central, a strike could produce off-center coins. Multiple feeder anomalies, worn or misaligned dies, or human error could introduce doubled dies or clipped planchets. Repunched mint marks occurred at Denver or San Francisco when the mint mark punch was misaligned and then hammered again. While many flaws are caught and melted down, some slip through quality control and enter circulation. Most errors are destroyed or filed away. The rare survivors become the legends, adding another layer: condition, certification, and provenance. A raw coin might be amazing, but to gain collector credibility, it must be professionally graded and authenticated, perhaps by NGC or PCGS. Once graded, auction records get established, provenance builds, and value escalates. If our legendary 1948 cent with multiple combined errors were to surface and be graded MS65, mint state 65 or higher, and introduced with thorough documentation, media hype, and collector competition, that value speculation can take off. Publicity can feed bidding wars. Even if the final sale doesn't reach $118 million, the conversation itself, fueled by news, forums, and collector blogs, builds the myth and aura. Let's walk through a hypothetical script timeline for a YouTube audience without giving editing or visual directions, but with natural storytelling flow across thousands of words, weaving together narrative, technical detail, emotional appeal, and speculative wonder. We'd start with welcoming the viewer, introducing the 1 cent coin worth millions premise, then layer historical background, technical explanation, error types, real registry examples, the value calculation framework, the mythology of numismatic obsession, and why this story matters not just to coin collectors, but to anyone who marvels at the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. Imagine describing the wonder of a houseplant seed germinating, or the moment a pearl emerges in an oyster. Similarly, this coin starts as something humble, a penny, but is transformed through minute chance, accident, and context into something beloved and extraordinarily prized. Thanks for watching, my dear fellows. Very important on Liberty 1 cent 1954 USA coin value and history worth a lot of money and market current value $115,000. This penny is a remarkable piece of American coinage with a history and value that have fascinated collectors and investors for decades. In this video we will explore everything about the 1954 Lincoln wheat cent from its origins to its design features, from the factors that influence its value to the truth behind the impressive market value claims of $115,000. So if you want to learn why this penny is so special and what you need to know to spot a valuable example, keep watching. The 1954 D penny was minted at the Denver Mint as indicated by the D mint mark on the obverse side just below the date. It is part of the Lincoln wheat cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and remained in production until 1958. The design was created by Victor David Brenner, featuring a dignified portrait of Lincoln on the front and 2 ears of wheat framing the denomination on the back. The wheat ears symbolize prosperity and agricultural heritage and have made this series beloved among collectors worldwide. In 1954, the Denver Mint produced over 1 billion pennies, making it one of the most commonly minted coins in the series. The sheer volume means that most 1954 D pennies found today are of low monetary value, especially those that have been circulated and show signs of wear. However, condition is everything when it comes to coin value, and uncirculated mint state pennies retain their original copper red luster, and sharp details command much higher prices at auctions and sales. Professional grading by PCGS or NGC certifies the coin's authenticity and condition, which greatly influences the market value. One of the most exciting features for collectors is the existence of mint errors and varieties on the 1954 D penny. The repunched mintmark error is one such variety, where the Denver D appears doubled or tripled due to a misstrike during the minting process. These errors are rare and highly sought after. Collectors often pay a premium, sometimes over $1,000, depending on the error's clarity and the coin's overall condition. Now addressing the widely spread claim that the 1954 D penny is worth $115,000 or $0.115 million. This figure has been frequently cited in online forums and social media, but it is essential to clarify that no verified sales or auctions support this price for a standard 1954 D penny. While some rare proof coins or extraordinary era coins can command high prices, no ordinary circulated or uncirculated 1954 D penny has ever been sold for such an amount. The market value depends on several factors, including rarity, condition, demand, and provenance, making it unlikely for the average 1954 D penny to reach six-figure prices. Collectors should be cautious of exaggerated claims and always seek professional evaluation to determine their coin's true worth. The value of the 1954 D penny can range from a few cents in circulated condition to several $1,000s for mint state or rare era varieties, but the six-figure value remains unproven and mostly speculative. If you own a 1954 D penny and want to assess its value, start by examining its condition. Look for sharp details, original copper red color, and any signs of doubling on the mint mark. If it appears to be in excellent condition, consider submitting it to a professional grading service which will authenticate and grade your coin, helping you to understand its market potential. Proper storage in coin holders and protecting it from moisture will preserve its condition and value over time. In conclusion, the Liberty 1 cent 1954 D coin is a significant piece of American history and a favorite among collectors. Although many coins from this year are common and worth only a few cents, uncirculated and era varieties can command much higher prices. Despite popular myths, the market value of $115,000 remains unverified, but the coin's historical and collectible value continues to make it a treasure for enthusiasts. Thank you for watching this thorough exploration of the 1954 D Lincoln wheat penny. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell for more fascinating coin stories, market updates, and collecting tips. Remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes that story can lead to unexpected discoveries. Keep collecting and see you in the next video. My very important coin collectors, thank you for stopping by today, because what you're about to hear is a story that may forever change how you see the coins jingling in your pocket or sitting quietly in that jar on the shelf. This is not just any story. It's the legend of a coin so small, so common looking, yet so powerful in rarity and mystery that its potential value defies logic. We're talking about the 1955 D Lincoln Wheat penny, a humble 1-cent coin that some believe could be worth as much as $113 million under the right conditions. It might sound unbelievable, but by the time we finish exploring the history, errors, minting mystery, and collector frenzy surrounding this copper piece of American history, you might just start checking every penny you find with new eyes. Let's go back to 1955. It was a time of post-war optimism in the United States. The country was booming, Elvis Presley had just begun to change music forever, and families across the nation were enjoying the fruits of an economy on the rise. It was in this very year that the Denver Mint produced the 1955 D penny, part of the Lincoln Wheat series that had been running since 1909. Over 563 million of these coins were minted in Denver alone. To most people, this would suggest the coin is common, ordinary, and unremarkable. But that's where things get interesting. You see, even in mass production, not every coin comes out perfect. The process of minting coins involves extreme precision, a die striking a blank planchet under thousands of pounds of pressure. But errors happen. And in 1955, errors happened in a way that created what would become some of the most sought-after and controversial pennies in numismatic history. While most of the attention has traditionally gone to the famous 1955 double die obverse from the Philadelphia Mint, the one where the date and inscriptions appear ghosted and duplicated, collectors and experts have begun whispering about a far rarer, possibly unique treasure from Denver. Imagine this: a 1955 D penny, not just a simple strike, but a perfect storm of errors, perhaps a rare double die from Denver, perhaps an off-center strike, maybe even a repunched mint mark, all combined into a single coin, and preserved in perfect condition, full red luster, almost as if it was struck yesterday. It hasn't just survived time, it has escaped circulation, untouched by sweaty palms or the passage of decades. Now, take that condition, combine it with its error profile, and consider the potential collector value. Most circulated 1955 D pennies are worth, at best, a few cents. Even uncirculated examples in MS-63 to MS-65 grades hover in the range of $5 to $100 depending on the color designation: red, red-brown, or brown. But once you cross into the territory of MS-67 and higher, things get interesting. A top-grade MS-67 plus red penny from this year and mint can go for several $1,000s at auction. That's already 1,000 times its face value. But what happens when you throw in an extremely rare error? Now picture a coin with a dramatic error never before documented, like a rare doubled die from the Denver Mint that only exists on this one piece. Maybe it was struck just once on a special die that failed immediately after. Maybe the die cracked or rotated slightly, creating a bizarre misalignment of the lettering and numbers. Or maybe this particular coin has both a double die and a mint mark that was repunched more than once, a D over D over D error, barely visible but irrefutable. Coins with such combinations are exceedingly rare, sometimes unique. And unique coins command mind-boggling premiums. Let's break it down even further. In the world of numismatics, rarity is everything. A coin doesn't just become valuable because it's old. It becomes valuable when it's rare, desirable, and when it tells a story. The 1955 D penny, with the right errors, in the right grade, could tell the kind of story that brings elite collectors and billionaires to the table, ready to pay the kind of money usually reserved for fine art or classic Ferraris. There are precedents for this. The 1933 Double Eagle, a $20 gold coin, sold for over $18 million. The 1794 Flowing Hair dollar fetched over $10 million. These are not just coins, they are historical artifacts, frozen moments of minting drama. So, how does a 1-cent coin reach the realm of $113 million? It comes down to three powerful forces: historical uniqueness, physical condition, and collector frenzy. If a 1955 D Lincoln cent were discovered that bore a truly unknown, verifiable error variety, struck on a rare planchet, and was found in a pristine state graded MS-68 or MS-69 read by PCGS or NGC, that coin would instantly become a numismatic celebrity. It would be written about in coin journals. It would be covered by mainstream media. Collectors would speculate. Investors would compete. the coin would take on a life of its own. And like any piece of high-value art, its price could be driven by passion, prestige, and competitive ego just as much as rarity. We can't forget the emotional side of collecting. For some, the thrill isn't just in owning something valuable, it's in owning something no one else has. To be the one person in the world who owns the most perfect, most bizarre, most magical 1955 penny ever minted is to own a piece of American history that no one else can touch. And in that emotion lies the possibility of extraordinary value. It's important to remember that not all valuable coins are recognized immediately. Some rest for decades in obscurity, misidentified or ignored, until one day someone with the right eye, the right knowledge, or the right intuition sees something others missed. That's why coin hunting remains such a thrilling hobby. Somewhere out there, in a box of loose change or tucked away in an inherited collection, there could be a coin that changes everything. Maybe it's sitting right now in someone's forgotten cigar box, waiting to be discovered. Maybe it's been passed down quietly through generations, no one realizing what they're holding. Or maybe it's still at large, never noticed, never admired, waiting for the right person to look closely and uncover its secret. This is the beauty of numismatics. It's not just about money. It's about curiosity. It's about history you can hold in your hand. It's about chasing stories that are almost too good to be true. The legend of the 1955 penny is alive not because it has happened, but because it could. The possibility is what fuels the chase, and the chase is what keeps collectors searching. So, the next time you find a penny, especially one from the 1950s, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You might see something no one else has noticed. You might hold a coin that rewrites the record books. And if by some miracle, you find that perfect storm of error, rarity, and condition, if you find the 1955 Lincoln wheat cent that rises above all others, then you might be holding the next $113 million legend in your very hand. Thank you for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and keep your eyes open. Because sometimes, even a single penny can be priceless. Very important on Liberty 1 cent 1957 USA coin value and history worth a lot of money and market current value $111,000. This coin may seem like an ordinary penny to most, but for collectors and investors it holds an incredible story and potential value that can surprise many. Today we are going to take an in-depth look at the Liberty 1 cent 1957 DA coin that carries a rich history, remarkable features, and a market value that some say reaches over $100,000. So sit tight, because what you are about to learn might change the way you look at pennies forever. The 1957 penny belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design remained in circulation until 1958. When we talk about the 1957 the D refers to the Denver Mint, where this particular penny was struck in 1957. The Denver Mint produced more than 1 billion of these coins, which makes it one of the highest minted Lincoln wheat cents in history. Despite the huge production, the 1957 D is highly sought after, especially in uncirculated and rare error conditions. The coin itself features a striking image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, symbolizing liberty and unity. The reverse has 2 ears of wheat flanking the words 1 cent and United States of America, which represents prosperity and agricultural heritage of the nation. This wheat design was very popular and has become an icon for coin collectors across the globe. Over time, many of these pennies have been lost in circulation or damaged, which is why mint condition specimens are precious and often bring high prices at auctions and coin shows. In circulated condition, most 1957 pennies are worth only a few cents due to their abundance, and where, however, the real treasure lies in the uncirculated examples. These are pennies that show no signs of wear, retain their original reddish copper color, and have sharp details, visible signs of wear lower the grade and consequently the value. But when a coin is graded by professionals as mint state 65 or above, its value jumps significantly. Many collectors pay hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars for these high-grade coins, especially if the original mint luster remains intact. Another fascinating aspect of the 1957 penny is the presence of mint errors and varieties. For example, the repunched mint mark is a famous error where the D mint mark is stamped twice or even 3 times during the minting process. This mistake creates a doubling effect that is highly prized by collectors. These rare errors are often worth a lot more than the regular pennies depending on their grade and clarity. Some of these repunched mint mark pennies have sold for over $1,000, making them highly desirable additions to any collection. Now let's address the much talked about market value of $0.111 million or $111,000. This number has circulated widely on social media forums and websites, causing excitement and sometimes confusion. The truth is, no verified sale or auction record supports such a price for a typical 1957 D penny. Regular examples, whether circulated or uncirculated, simply do not reach anywhere near this value. The most valuable 1957 D pennies with rare proof status or unique errors may reach into the tens of thousands, but a 6-figure sale remains unconfirmed and very unlikely. It is important to remember that coin values are influenced by rarity, demand, condition, and historical significance. While the 1957 D penny is common in terms of numbers, it still holds great historical and collectible importance. High-grade specimens and rare errors increase the value dramatically, but these are the exception, not the rules. So when you come across claims of enormous values, be cautious and always seek professional grading and appraisal to know the true worth of your coin. For those lucky enough to own a 1957 D penny, the advice is simple: inspect the coin carefully, looking for mint luster, original color, and any signs of mint errors. If the coin looks exceptional, consider submitting it to a reputable grading company like PCGS or NGC. This certification not only proves authenticity, but can also enhance market value. Keeping your coins safe and protective holders and away from moisture will preserve its condition over time. In conclusion, the Liberty 1 cent 1957 D is a coin that blends rich American history with exciting collector value. While many of these pennies are common and worth just a few cents, uncirculated and rare varieties can command prices ranging from hundreds to several $1,000s. The popular claim of a $0.111 million value remains a myth unless associated with a truly unique specimen. So treasure your pennies, but always be informed about their real market potential. Thank you for joining me on this detailed journey through the story and value of the 1957 D Lincoln Wheat penny. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into fascinating coins and collectibles. Remember, every coin has a story waiting to be discovered, and maybe your next treasure is closer than you think. Keep collecting, and see you in the next video.